Today. Today. As we start this show, this one mic.
Hell. I cut that intro quick. We hell. Like my brother said, he hell. There's a short ass intro. Excuse me for that, but we'll get moving. All right, welcome to Real Sports, guys. Before I get into it, I just want to thank our sponsor for this, my man, Red Insurance Group. My boy Mo has been with us. We want to thank Red Insurance Group, Mimic, for what they do for educators. They give them more than just insurance. They give them a lot of other support. As you know, our educators need that support. So if you're an educator, go to redinsuranceGroup.com and learn more about Mimic Insurance and all the other support you can get as an educator. It's good. I'm here in the booth with my guys. There's a lot going on. I think we might end up freestyling today. I got the youngin' to the left of me, or at least to the left of you, and my man, the hammer, to the right of you. And this is D. Wilson in the middle. Please go to realsportsguys.com and give all you can get. But these gentlemen are the ones who are going to be carrying the mic right up as we move forward. Let me go to the youngin', man. How you doing, man? You know, you're in the off season right now. I know you try to work with them youngins, try to get them ready for next year. How you doing?
I'm good. Today was a special day because it's a day that one of our own, Malik Williams, he signed today with Yale today.
Mm,
It's
mm.
it's a special day. He about to go into an Ivy League school and kind of continue his playing career there.
Oh, that's big. He won twice. He's gonna be
Yeah,
able to play, and he won going to Yale. That's a lot. He's set. He works that network the right way. You know, kind of like my man the Hammer, who's
Yes,
kind of on
sir.
that West Coast Ivy League, Stanford
Yeah,
grad. What's
yes,
up, man? How
sir.
you doing? Chi Towns only.
Man, I'm doing great, man. You know, love the Bulls, but don't love the Bears.
Oh,
um,
you know it's the final nail in the coffin when Young Fields comes out and
man, he
talks
threw him on
about
the bus.
the lack of
That's
discipline.
that's yeah.
I,
Well,
I, I'm,
hey, he feels comfortable. Obviously, I mean, he told the
I
truth.
mean,
There's no
man,
discipline at all.
rookies
No
speaking
discipline.
up with their chest out.
He's a leader, dude. I mean, he's the best leader in the team. He's the better leader, our coach, our so-called leader. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad Justin called
Man,
him out because it's been the whole year has been a bunch of craziness with personal fouls and just absolute just chaotic behavior and just lack of self-control all around. I mean, you know, and even before with Javon Wims and all this craziness, I mean, just there's been a culture of just of dysfunction with the Bears. So the show last night where we're in the red zone like 6-7 times, we get one touchdown on a cheap play. That's it. Yeah, we tired of it, Chicago, man. I slept so hard last night. I woke up, I was like, damn, I need another hour, but I had to get to work. So damn,
woo. All
yeah,
right.
man.
Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
jump off here in open mic and you know let y'all get in your bag a little bit. Talk about those things that's kind of on that back page, kind of things that's kind of been in your ear this week. Young, and I'll go back to you. What are some of those sports stories that you've been paying attention to? You know, here since the last time we were on air with the folks.
well, shoot, Joel Embiid, man. I was watching this the Sixers game. I got league pass, so I was watching the Sixers and Joel Embiid. He's back and he's back with a vengeance. I mean, this guy. It amazes me sometimes just to see the stuff that he's able to do at his size. Like usually you see, he has a skill set of a two guard, but except he's 7 foot, 250 pounds. Like
Mm.
you don't see that off. You don't. Well, you never see that. First of all, you never see that. But like I said on the show before, it goes by it comes from who he trains with. He trains with Drew Hanlon, and Drew Hanlon. He has Bradley Bill and Jason Tatum and countless others as well, of course. But it's just like in boxing. Like we talk about in boxing, you talk about Eddie Reynoso, you talk about Derrick James, you talk about coaches like that. When you can see their imprint on their fighter, you can tell that's you know that blueprint is there, like the imprint is there on that fighter. And I see the same thing with them because they're the same foundation to the game. And because you see, if you watch Bradley Beal, you watch Jason Tatum, they all have that foundation of the triple threat. They all work that jab step. They have a good size up game. And then the crazy thing is, Joel Embiid is a center, but he can do everything that they can do. And then it's just crazy. I saw him size some. I saw somebody. I saw Joel Embiid size up. I saw him get double teamed and then step back going into the corner and make it over both defenders with the shot clock running down. I was like, man, how do you guard this guy? And yeah, they're just endless possibilities. Like before his career is all said and done, I want to see him and Jokic face off with each other in the finals at least one time. And I think that would be something for the history books.
Yeah, I like it. And I think the other thing he did was I think he got really committed to his diet and his eating. And, part of being able to play night in and night out, given I think everything else you said was right on. But, it takes energy, it takes getting sleep, it takes doing all the other things you have to do when you have to be the guy. I mean, Hubie Brown used to say, the all-star players have to be available at a high level. I think he was like 72 nights a year.
And that doesn't happen with Embiid, by the way. So that's why he gets no love from me.
But I think that's part of it. But I think his availability more often, as he's done what I think Darnell's talked about, because I think that training's given him more tools to go to avoid contact. In a way, one of his biggest challenges, he has kind of this long gait, which I think is sometimes problematic for him. But I think because he has all those other things, it allows for him to get to not take as much punishment because he can step out, he can shoot, he can score in many different ways and dictate. But then he also has that energy night after night. When you get tired, you start to make mistakes. But I think he's talked a little bit about his diet and making some changes in his diet.
Yeah, I think
that's
a
an
bigger
important piece.
issue for him, other than the gate, is he's on the ground a lot. Like he's one of the guys. You shouldn't see somebody as big as he is. I'm a big guy myself, and
but who's on the ground more, him or AD?
One thing in baseball and basketball and all the sports, one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to fall. Big guys, we don't like to fall. And Embiid is on the ground just a little bit too much for my liking. I watched the game, I'm like, man, stay up. Stay up.
But I would say to you, who's on the ground more, him or AD? Like he hurt again. Like
Anthony Davis. It's Anthony Davis for sure. But Joel
Anthony
Embiid,
Davis wins the
he's
underground award.
As much as D Wade used to be.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. D Wade used to do it all the time. He used to do those little circus layups and he's always fall. But Embiid, he be trying to do that, and I'm like, man, you gonna end up hurting yourself
because you fall in a long way. Every time he fall, I'm thinking he ain't getting up. You right. Them big fellas, boy, you get down and you got to get some help up too. He always wait for people to help him up. I don't blame him. But yeah, that's what I was worried about. But I think that also comes with managing your energy and your fatigue. It's things you're going to do when you're tired. And I mean, he's a big guy. He's going to get double teamed. He's going to have nights. But getting stronger, eating right, along with all the other stuff you're talking about, helps him to stay more alert and in it, because it's when you're tired, you likely to make those kind of mistakes or not go as hard as you can or see something that's not really there. But you're right. I mean, he's when he's healthy, he's a problem.
One thing he's added to his game is game
Yeah.
Like I've been watching that, and one thing he's gotten a lot better at is when the double team was there. I know sometimes he feel like he can score over anybody, but when they bring help, he's doing a good job of finding guys and delivering more accurate passes than he has in the past.
Yeah, and that's especially important for them, with Simmons not being there, who's a great passer. Adding that and being that threat, and getting other people open and getting them shots is an added importance for Philadelphia. Hammer, what are some of the other things you've been looking at, paying attention to the sports world?
Well, it's COVID-19, man. I mean, it's gone crazy. I mean, you look at the reports today, the lists, and then you look at our resident fool Cole Beasley. His craziness talking about the rules got me. Now, man, you on rules for a reason. We have global pandemic and a serious virus. So, but like Tyreek Hill and yeah, it's just crazy. Marcus Valiant, Scanlon, guys have huge games on on Sunday, and they're shut down. I mean, obviously they go through the protocols, get the protocols. Maybe they can play by game time, but if not, they're shut down. So it's just, it's really turned. And these are people who are, many of them who are triple vaccinated or, boosted. The big news about Stephen A. Smith today, found he wasn't boosted, which is unfortunate because that's going to lessen, as far as, your symptoms and things like that. But yeah, it's really up in the sports world. The NHL, I mean, obviously we don't talk much about hockey for due reason. Ain't nothing to talk about hockey that much. But the bottom line is that, they've shut down. And then let's talk about the Olympics. I mean, how the heck are we going to have the Olympics going on now? There's no way I would. I mean, that'd be a suicide mission. Go over there, and then you get over there, you go get sick, and then you're gonna be stuck in China. Good luck, or stuck around. So it's just this virus and these mutations it's torn the world asunder. But definitely the world of sports. But I can tell you this much: they're not gonna with the changes in protocols as far as people who are vaccinated not getting tested as much and other things like that. They're not going to shut down this country again. You can forget about that. That's not happening again.
It's interesting you said that because one of the things we noticed, like as you know, in Chicago, UIC is thinking about going remote. Cornell,
they are. They are
going to go. Cornell University, I think, just shut down.
Yeah.
The one thing that created an issue for sports is that when they started shutting down and changing the remote delivery of classes, questions on campuses started being asked about athletics. And, and in terms of, attendance at events and things like that. And so, I hadn't even thought about this until you just raised this as an issue. I think one of the things that people have to watch in these spring sports, if these campuses on the college level start shutting down, that's going to create a lot of pressure for these college presidents in terms of attendance at these events. Because if you can't have kids come to class, how are you then filling up a stadium?
Mm-hmm. You got cats rushing the field. I mean, this has been a year rushing the field.
You got people rushing the field.
Rushing the field over just wins. Not big wins, just wins. You rush the field regardless.
Yeah. And even though you're saying, even on some of these campuses, obviously being vaccinated doesn't, what it does is reduce the impact. But, so many of these presidents will say on many of these campuses, faculty and staff were at 95, 97%. But in these athletic venues, you open to the public, so, even in the state of Wisconsin, Dane County has a high vaccination rate.
Oh, yeah.
But when you think, once you go outside Dane County and
Iowa, Iowa and Sauk, forget about it.
Yeah. It's a different thing. But those are the folks who come to the athletic events
Precisely.
And coming into the space. So it's going to, like when you raise this as a question, it's going to be, pros going to do the pro stuff. Them owners have lost enough money. But it's going to be interesting to see how these college games go, or, depending on what's happening with some of these college games. So because of how these campuses,
because they're not going to shut down basketball. Gets too much money, but I think baseball could be in trouble. It's not a revenue generating sport, so. It's dollars and cents.
But there's a lot of external pressure. There's a lot of, you start
getting a lot of external pressure, but there's a lot of external pressure years. I mean, they're not gonna. I mean, you've had.
I'm not gonna say never because we think
that's true.
I would say that.
I would wait. Yeah, you're right. If we find out that Omicron right now, I love my man. I'm clowning him. The Amarion, my man, Amarion is an infamy now. But Marion, that's why I can't stand that dude anyway.
Darnell got me cracking up on that.
But seriously, the Omicron variant, we find out it's right now it's highly transmissible.
Yeah.
And supposedly less less severe. So but still the highly transmissible means that you have more people who get sick who could be a situation where they get in a worse shape because you have more people who are exposed. and you have more mutations happen. More people get sick, you have more mutations. So
Yeah, and that's the problem is we have 50 million. I thought someone said 50 million
unvaccinated,
eligible folks who have not been vaccinated. That's a
and
lot
it
of
could get
folks, and this
vaccinated
was going to
several
find
times
you.
over.
Yeah,
and the problem is those knuckleheads. Excuse me, if you're watching, if you're watching and you're not vaccinated, you can turn it off, as far as I'm concerned, because you are contributing to a public health crisis in this country. So I mean,
yes,
that was the problem. Okay, well, I didn't know. I mean, hey,
I'm with you on that one. I mean,
down,
we've got to be. This is not a political issue.
it's not a
This is
political
a
issue.
public health crisis.
But I'm saying,
This is not about viruses. Don't care about who you voted for.
They don't care. They don't care. But the bottom line is that D. Wells is that you look at the fact that you have around the world people would kill for the vaccine, literally and figuratively, and we got knuckleheads here who won't even take it.
Yeah.
And we can spread that around. That's what's happening. These viral mutations are causing like the Omicron, Marion. I'll stop it. Omicron and things like that.
Our young man Darnell gave it a new name.
Yeah. Well, he loves his
it's
boy
dancing
band
around
music.
the country.
I like some Marion too back in the day. But
it's dancing around the country.
Around, yeah. He malnourished. He was bringing it though, man. He didn't eat. He balled though, man. He was skinny. I don't know what he's eating, man. They had him on a seafood diet. See the food, don't eat it. That brother was so thin, man. Goodness gracious. But but seriously, no. And so what happens is that we're not getting vaccine around the world, and we're getting these serious mutations, and we got these knuckleheads here in this country who won't get vaccinated. And the first death of the Omicron variant, was an unvaccinated Texan, as you probably know, which is no surprise, considering that's the grounds there. The governor of the state, who is vaccinated, up there clowning and quadriplegic and paraplegic, and won't get vaccinated, won't the whole nine, and it's a disgrace. But the bottom is it's I don't see us shutting down. The mayor here, Lightfoot, has put the vax cards. So, that bottom line, this is a TV, something to get you one of these. Make sure you got one of these. So, with me all the time. So
I got my card.
You ain't get anywhere. If you want to drink it at the corner bar, forget it. You better get your drink at home. Get you your Jameson at home or your Corvo at home. Yeah, so that's how it is, man. But it's torn the sports world, and people are going to be more lax with that thing. And they're already showing, the NFL showing it by the fact they're going to be basically punishing the unvaccinated. That's what's going to happen. So.
Well, I tell you, it's we're going to continue to watch this and see how the sports world reacts to it. Inside of it, it was just a great conversation. This will bring Darnell in. It's just so I was listening. First take a little bit. Stephen A. Who likes combat sports, likes boxing. Had some commentary on Jake Paul. Now Jake Paul put another beat down on Woodley over the weekend. I mean, it was a Nate Robinson level beatdown. It's good for entertainment. I've just supported that. Boxing has just failed to give us the fights, and so anything that can probably begin to bring together, I'm cool with it. But this is a young man that is continuing. He trains with real trainers and real boxers, but keeps bringing these wrestlers in. And I know Stephen A. was saying, he's like, stop lying to the public. Now I know he's supposed to be fighting Fury, who is a early developing boxer to do it. But but you look at the crowd and the money, and the energy in there. It was pretty boring fight until the knockout. This is getting some momentum, and I don't understand why the promoters are just going to let this potential money go by. I mean, I think they're missing great opportunities by not having Mike. But one of the interesting points that was made in this conversation was he is showing to boxers that you can operate without promoters. Mm-hmm. And would it be interesting to start to see some of these boxers who maybe not don't have promoters, but have managers who help get what they got to get. I think there's a business model there, but Youngin, you might have some insight into this. You know, aside from the points that Stephen A. made about Jake Paul, I think one of the interesting things that came out of the conversation was that this idea of you know, is there a model there that some of our elite boxers can see in ways in which they can begin to drive their own market? And what's the role? What's the real role of the promoter?
Well, first of all, I didn't watch the fight. I mean, I ain't watching.
He's a purist. He
I
ain't gonna
ain't
mess with it.
doing, I
I
ain't
didn't really
doing
watch
none
the
of
fight.
that.
I just saw
And
the YouTube. I just saw
you know what I'm saying?
Facebook.
We gonna watch. If we gonna talk about boxing, I watched Artur Beterbiev. He's in the lower half of my pound for pound list. Beat up the woman beater, Marcus Brown. That was a
That's his nickname.
huh?
That's his nickname.
No, that's not his nickname. That's who he is. This
Okay.
man has been arrested for domestic violence 4 times.
Now why is he fighting then?
I cannot
fighting?
give him any respect.
Why is he fighting? Why is he in prison?
You know how
Talk about criminal justice reform. He needs to be put in jail for beating out women. Is he black? Is he black?
He's black. Yeah, he's black.
Disgrace to our race, man.
That's what I'm saying. I can't support him. I can't support him.
I can't support him.
I was watching Ghost 2 or whatever the version of Power, and the show was focused on karma, and so I think
his karma came back.
His karma came back.
But going back to your question about the promoter list model, it doesn't work in real boxing because unfortunately politics comes into play. There's a lot deeper than that because you're talking about a fighter. Let's say a fighter that's just turned pro, just coming up the Olympics. So a guy like that, they need a promoter to navigate through the rankings and stuff like that because unfortunately there's politics. Like the WBO when we say it was whatever Bob orders or the WBA this we back Al or Al Heyman, so like that. These sanctioning bodies have these deep ties with these promoters, and if you don't have the proper representation, they will take advantage of you. Like we watched Devin Haney be make his way up through the ranks, and him consistently being screwed by the sanctioning bodies. We've seen this happen. He was ahead of Teofimo Lopez in the rankings. And Bob Arum, he had the proper. Teofimo, he had the proper representation. He was able to get his opportunity before Devin Haney, and then when it was time for Devin Haney to get his shot, they were able to put a special clause in where Lomachenko didn't have to fight Devin Haney. And that's just what happens. If you don't have the proper representation, you'll never get your opportunity. And it's the sad truth, but that's just the way it is. I mean, Jake Paul, he doesn't have to have a promoter because he's not fighting for a belt. He's not fighting for any kind of actual position. He's fighting for the pay-per-view buys. And yes, if you build up your following, you can generate revenue and pay-per-view buys and stuff like that without the promoter. But where does that get you in the end?
If boxing don't get it right, it's gonna get them right in the end. Because I checked out these past UFC fights, man. My good, and I know they got a lot of market control and they control a lot of the salaries, and they got a lot of control, but they got a lot of excitement coming through there. I mean, when their top fighter, female fighter, just got upset, and it was the most incredible night you could ever see of fighting. I mean that was from end to end, all those fights, it was like my head hurt. The excitement was so much in there. Not a lot of many people wearing their mask over there. But I'll digress. But it was. I mean, they got it. They got it figured out. But even with that, when you go to a big boxing match, and I had a chance to go in it, it's just something different. It's just something different. Like even with all of that being said, when it's a big boxing fight, when it's a big match, it just feels different. Does that make sense, Young? And I know you probably can say it.
Yeah.
It just feels different. Like even with all the UFC, and that was an amazing presentation. When it's a big fight, and I think even Dana White would admit it. It's just something different. It's just something different, and I just think I would hope that we could get somebody. And I thought, stupidly, I thought maybe these networks, seeing the bigger picture could put a little bit of pressure, but they get it anyway. And it seems like a endless thing that we got to get to. But maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll just keep looking. We'll keep going. But I'm tell you, because they're not doing it, that boy Jake Paul making that money. He bought that house in Puerto Rico, and he making that money. He knows how to put on a show and create demand.
And he's not the only one making the money. If you think about it, Tyron Woodley made more money in those two fights with Jake Paul than he's ever made.
He's ever made. He got everybody paid. That's why he hugged him. He's like, I take the knockout.
And big respect to Jake Paul. And big respect for Jake Paul because he is doing something that not a lot of other promoters are doing. He's putting the female boxing at the forefront. He's always put Amanda Serrano. He's taken her to she's been on the undercard of both of his fights, and it's big exposure. It's great exposure for her.
Yeah, and, she's supposed to have was it Katie Smith? She's supposed to have a fight with her. Is that what her name is?
Who?
The other top fighter is it
Katie Taylor?
Taylor. I knew it was Taylor. It was Katie.
You said
Taylor.
Katie Smith. I was like, who?
I was like Smith. I knew it was Taylor. I knew it was Smith or Taylor. It was like a pretty simple last name. But I saw Katie Taylor fight, and then she's supposed to. They're trying to hopefully line up a fight between those two at some point. But part of it is what Jake Paul has been continuing to do to give Serrano that you're right, he's doing that. Plus, he providing the paydays. That's why Willie gave him the hug at the. You got to when you go to the bank and your money look right, you can take that and put me on a meme. He down there hanging with Jake Paul, drinking them toddies right now. So there's a like you're right. That's the most money he's made. That says something about UFC. The way they've been able to control people's earnings. Unless you Conor McGregor. But hey, that's enough about that. We're gonna let's what do y'all want to hit into? We were gonna talk a little bit of college football playoffs, but there's other stuff blooming up. We got Kyrie coming back, and then he gets sick. We got enough out there. Tiger just came and had with his son, John Daly's son, just want to beat him. That was something to be seen. Where y'all want to go with this?
Oh yeah, Klay Thompson, his return is not here yet. But he's not here yet. But he's coming back pretty soon.
Back next month. He's coming back in about a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, he's coming. They said he's cleared to practice and do 5-on-5. He's already done some scrimmages with the G League affiliate, and I've seen him in some scrimmages, and he's looking good. And
it's gonna be frightening, man. I mean, GSW is just gonna be off the chart.
And I just want to illustrate for y'all how long it's been since Klay Thompson has played.
Oh yeah, I heard this.
Klay Thompson has been out for so long that John Morant has never played against Klay Thompson. Just think about that. John Morant, this is a guy that he's become a fixture in the league now. Like he's a young guy. He's really put his foot down. He got his imprint in the league. He had that big statement in the playing game against the Warriors. But John Morant, he's never played against Klay Thompson because Klay Thompson, he's been out for that long. And the last time when Klay Thompson was still playing, Kawhi was on the Raptors. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant was on the Warriors. The league was a completely different place. And that's just goes to show how long he's been gone. And it's just going to be exciting to see him back on that court.
Yeah, I know we talk about. We talk about Zion.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about.
Yeah, Zion's never played against. I could have used the Zion example because they're in the same draft class, but Zion, he hasn't played enough games. So you could have made the argument that Zion.
Let's just talk about Zion in general. Zion's, becoming debacle right now.
with all like the news about like the stuff behind the scenes, you start thinking like, is he doing this just to get out of New Orleans? Is he trying to force his way out, or
Yeah.
what is
Trying to get to New York.
what is
Trying to get to
behind
New
it?
York. Trying to get to New York, man. No doubt. I mean,
No.
you saw that proposed trade. I agree with you. I'd do that in a second. What was
Yeah, if I
I'd
was
do
the
that right
Pelicans,
now.
I'll do that trade yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I would have took
Tell,
that
tell the
trade.
people, tell the people if they haven't seen it, Youngin, what's the trade?
Oh man, I gotta pull it up. I don't
Yeah,
remember,
pull it
but
up.
it was a lot of good pieces in there. Sure.
And why you do it? I mean, what I'll say about this is, even if he wants to do a trade or not, he's losing some credibility. And I tell you right now, he was the most impressive young person I've seen up close when he was out at Maui. I love the way he carried himself. He played hard. A lot of people talk about his dunks, but a complete player, his ball handling, his ability to distribute. I mean, all around game, and appeared to just be a competitor, not concerned about a whole bunch of other stuff. And then to get here and hear about the fact he's working with, I think someone from LSU training, but they can't keep him away from the pizzas. They can't keep him away from the. He likes to eat large pizzas, the extra large pizzas.
Yeah.
When this is your job,
with high fructose syrup soda.
come
I
on now.
already was sleeping during film. I was like, man,
Sleeping during film.
That's when I
Sugar high. Shoot.
That's when I started suspecting, is he trying to? He's doing this on purpose. That's when I was like, man, he's doing this on purpose.
Either he's doing this on purpose, or is he going through some depression about some other things?
He ain't doing it on purpose. He ain't depressed, man. He ain't depressed.
I don't know, man. It might come out later.
In the bank, man. He got a big shoe deal. He got. I'm like,
there
might
be a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
These young people think they're indestructible, and you going on 320, and 6'6". You putting your health. I mean, even though you're young, you putting your health at risk, man. I mean,
I got the trade. I have the trade.
Cold or something, you in real trouble.
The trade. I don't know if this is. I don't think this is a real trade, but this is what was.
The one that was on Instagram, yeah, right.
Yeah, it was Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson,
that's the trade. Yeah.
And 2 first-round picks. I was like, what? That is a whole lot. If I'm the Pelicans, I'm taking that yesterday.
I take that yesterday.
You have that's depth. You already don't want to be there. I mean, now we're building. We have building blocks to build upon.
But he got to know New York ain't playing.
Yeah, but he'll get the point where I think he'll get down about.
Well, it's Thibodeau, first of all. I mean,
it's Thibodeau.
Yeah, Thibodeau ain't good for your health. Thibodeau ain't good for your health. Come on, y'all.
I know you talk about because of D Rose. That was a freak accident, man.
Come on. Look at all the other players.
D Rose eventually was going to blow his knee out. D Rose's game was not conducive to his body.
Thibodeau,
he had a game.
It wasn't just about D Rose.
Yeah, 6'7" game.
It wasn't just about D Rose.
Body, bro.
It wasn't just about D Rose. The framework wasn't just about D Rose. Thibodeau hard on your body. You know that.
No,
maybe learn something.
You play defense, what they should. I mean,
yeah, but he hard on your body in a different way, man. I hope he figures something out. If I'm, that's not the last place he need to go. If he hard on your body like that, but he can go. And the New York fans, New York media, he better be ready for it.
He'll be ready for it. He lucky.
He fortunate he in New Orleans, because if he was in New York going through this, woo.
He wouldn't be doing this in New York, dude. He got enough people.
We don't know. It's hard to change his behavior that quick. It's hard to change it.
Whatever piece he's in, the New York piece is thinner, so that'll help. That New Orleans piece is big as I.
But there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's
got jambalaya gumbo on the pizza, and
there's a whole bunch of other stuff that'll do bad. Is bad for your health.
Beignets. I mean, New Orleans. I mean. You were down there. You were down there for Encore, weren't you? Like, what was it? 2013. I've been in New Orleans one time Man, I said to my boy, I was like, how do they live down here, man? They got breakfast is like beignets, which is like sugary thing. Then you got lunch is like dinner. I mean, you got places like I mean, really. I mean, it's like dinner and supper, like in the country. Because that ain't no dinner. That's like 2 dinners. They got. I went to like Mother's. I was like, man, it's a lot of food, man. Like, how are they? I mean, and then they're like, we work out, man. I'm like, I know y'all better. Dude, because I'm like, how the heck?
I'm gonna tell you this. They should trade him to the Knicks. They need to trade him to the Giants. Or the Jets.
Man,
he's still getting quickly those guys. Oh,
they knock him off his feet, man.
We'll see how that thing go. We're gonna see how that thing run out. All right, we're getting close to this playoffs in the NFL.
Yeah,
teams are jockeying.
Yeah,
you saw Tom Brady take it on the chin.
Tom Brady's done, bro. I mean, they got Fournette out. They had to sign Le'Veon Bell.
I was about to say, you know how many times I heard Tom Brady's done.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it.
He got Gronk and that. Who else is doing it? Scotty Miller.
Antonio Brown coming back at some point.
Man, please.
Mike Evans gonna be back.
Yeah, he got 2 of everything.
He's coming back this week. At some point, he's coming back this week. So I mean, that's not. But I still. But
who they playing down the stretch?
Fournette, when they ran the ball with Fournette, Ron Jones got the ball then. Ron Jones, you got the ball.
But they ain't playing anybody down the stretch, are they?
Man.
I don't think they playing anybody down the stretch. So they got some
they got some
The
Cardinals thought they weren't playing anybody last week, did they?
All they got to do is make the
Cardinals thought they weren't playing anybody last week.
We got to talk about that.
Detroit, we got to talk about
that.
I'll give Detroit credit. I mean, Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn.
They're biting kneecaps.
I give them props, man. We're in Chicago, man. I mean, they fought hard. Jared Goff fought hard.
Craig Reynolds yards, the third
balled out. Was on the practice squad balling. Betting some of these first-round picks like Rashard Penny and Sonny Michel.
Speaking of the Lions, Devon, did you see my 7th-round mock?
I saw it. I didn't get a chance to get deep into it.
Well, you got
we definitely got to bring it out,
right?
Yeah, I did, but
they gonna pick Thibodeau, man.
Some of the picks that were available were a little questionable to me, so I gotta make sure.
You saw McShay's mock draft, didn't you?
What, the first round or 7th round?
I just saw the first round. Parts of the first round.
I saw
Malik Willis. Malik Willis was the highest QB, right? He went like 11.
He was
that high, or?
That's a reach.
Yeah,
that's a reach. That's definitely a reach. I like Malik Willis.
Dude, if you see something like look, you saw Jalen Hurts tonight. Jalen Hurts is balling.
The thing is, Malik Willis is. I think he's the most talented quarterback of the quarterbacks this year, but I don't think he's ready. But I don't think any of the quarterbacks is really ready like that. But
you think Pickett's ready?
To what extent? I mean Pickett is the most ready. I think
he seems to be very solid. I think he's very poised.
Pickett and Corral.
I think he'll be solid. He's not gonna be spectacular. I think he'll be solid. You know what I'm saying? I think, and also with Narduzzi, the pro style, I think he'll be solid. You know, I've been impressed with him. But Willis, I agree, he could be boom or bust.
You know, I could be biased because not biased, but sometimes we get a little spoiled. Like, you know what I'm saying? Last year, we're coming off Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? We're coming off Justin Fields. We're coming off Mac Jones. Next year, we come with Bryce Young. The year before that, we came out with Joe Burrow. I don't see nothing like that this year. I don't see nothing on that level. No.
But this is the year where you're gonna get some edge rushers, some other players.
That's what I'm saying. You got to stop. You got like a lot of Lions fans like, oh, we have to get a quarterback. I was like, man, you better stock up. Yeah. You better stock up on talent. Like you better
get Jared Goff for the year. That's all.
You give Jared another year.
Yeah, give him another year. Give Bryce Young next year. let's go back and tank again. No, well, not tank, but you're gonna be bad with the.
No, they ain't tell you. That's the thing about it. They play hard all year. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I give them credit.
They just got to
They
figure
play
out how
Well,
to
hard.
win those
the
games.
team's not gonna tank. The team's not gonna tank. You tank. When I say tank, it's an organizational thing. Like if you don't have enough talent, well, the Lions they play exceptionally hard. Like you say, yeah, they're building a winning culture, but at the same time, if you trotting out, I'm not gonna put anybody on blast, but
Put him on blast. Penny Sewell's been trash. Put him on blast.
Not of late. Penei Sewell has gotten a lot better.
I'm talking about the whole year, bro. Yeah, I agree. It's what you done for me lately. He's played better these last couple of games, but come on, man, he was stealing money. He ought to give it back his sign bonus, man. The first, real talk. He should have given a prorated part of his sign bonus, man.
Over the last 6 weeks, Pro Football Focus has him as like a tie for second or the third.
I agree. I'm talking about. I didn't say. I said the whole year, bro. Did not listen to me, brother. I said the whole year. I didn't say recently. I said the whole year. Didn't I say that?
But I think it goes back to building a culture. It's how you build a team.
He was
offensive line.
Let's be real. Let's be real. The first 8 weeks of the first 8 weeks of the year, Penei Sewell was committing theft by contract. Let's just be real about that. Let's be real about that.
But I'm saying
theft by contract. That's what it really was.
But part of it has a lot to do with a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of other.
He was out for the year, all that, but nobody want to hear those.
A lot of it's a learning curve too. Like he was one of the youngest guys in the draft. I mean.
Dude, nobody will hear those excuses, man. Dude, the normal.
Well, if you want a team that's terrible, I mean,
yes,
some guys out there. It's time for you to learn. I mean, you got.
Remember that brother that went to the lineman who was 19 years old. He played. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? A Nigerian last name. Yeah, no, he was in Louisville. He was you know what I'm talking about? He was a 19-year-old guy. You know what I'm talking about? D lineman.
Oh, D-line.
Brother out the league in like 5 years, man. This is the NFL, not for long, man. They don't want to hear that mess. They're not hearing no excuses, man.
Yeah, but offensive linemen curate, they stay for a long time.
Dude, like I saw last night with the Bears, man. Too many people want to eat, man. You had all these cats on this practice squad. They were hungry. Like they had a meal in like a week, man. They came out balling, dude. Thomas Graham Jr. balling. I mean,
he's a rookie, right, from Oregon.
Yeah, he's a rookie, but he was on the practice squad the whole year.
Yeah,
but that's an indictment of the head coach and the GM.
Oh yeah, well, Jim.
I was about to say he should have been playing. I mean, he should have
been playing. I agree. He over Kendall Vendor.
Like he was on the team.
Over Kendall Vendor. Yeah, he was giving up.
I'm like, y'all hiding people. They
barely went. He's not no mid-major.
We ain't hiding people.
He's been balling before.
Oh yeah, I agree. I was stunned. First of all, when he got cut, then I was stunned when he got through waivers. I thought he ain't gonna do it. So I said to myself, what happened? I understand was talking about guys, a bunch of injuries, but these NFL teams, I don't understand, man. Someone like him, I would have picked him up. I mean, you saw last night that dude's talented. I mean, it's not all about the program, but the program means something. Oregon's got a good program.
But let's go back to the line. Look, what about the other team, Arizona? What's going on in Arizona? Everybody was getting them props, but they look like they slipping. They slipping and sliding.
They have holes.
They got holes.
Man. They got holes. So they had holes a year, but they've been able
to
overcompensate the holes with that gimmicky offense.
But, by scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, but they were able to do that. And then with DeAndre, with D-Hop out, they're really in trouble. I mean, Christian Kirk and AJ Green's had a little renaissance. He's played all right. He ain't played. They really need to bring Fitz back. I wonder if Fitz will come through the door, man, save him. But
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Zach Ertz is balling too. That was a good trade. Zach Ertz is a good trade.
Yeah, you got the 49ers creeping up and trying to beat people up.
Balling, dude. I mean, they got a nice spot, dude.
Dallas trying to get right a little bit.
For his life.
Huh?
Where's it now?
I said Kyler Murray was running for his life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, you get that ratty offensive line. You be running for your life. It's like Justin Fields. Well, he wasn't running for his life last. I give him credit. This is one of the games he wasn't running for his life. Yeah, He had
He did.
people who couldn't catch the ball. That was the
He
problem.
made, but and he also made some poor decisions. Holding the ball,
He made
you
some
got to
poor
screen,
decisions, but you
throw it
make
at
poor
people's
decisions
feet.
behind
Sometimes
that
throw the
line,
ball
bro.
away, live to fight another day. Those
Yeah.
are things are simple things. Throw the ball away, live to fight another day. Is
And
a
those are
simple thing.
things we've seen from him at Ohio State. Like I was telling you about this last year before the college football playoff. I was telling you, man, Justin Fields. A lot of times he has some Russell Westbrook in him. Like you look at him, you just be like, man, if I was controlling him on Madden, this would be the greatest quarterback ever. But then you watch him like, man, why did you do that? like
Yeah, he's a little risque, but no, I gave him props. He has tremendous confidence in his ability. I mean, the guys started 10 games this year. We didn't thought he would start that many games. He's under duress constantly. I mean, never forget that Cleveland Brown game. Oh my goodness. I mean, no one deserves a beating like that, man. That was just, I mean, I was like Jake Paul, Tyron Will. That was just a beating. Just a beating. But again, see, back in credit, he took a beating and he came back. He didn't get fed. That's what I like the fact. And the fact he called out coach today, I got mad props for him. That's a leader, dude. That's calling it well like it is, man. Because we have lost institutional control in Chicago. We have a bunch of knuckleheads running around, committing personal fouls, talking about fight for your teammates. You fight for your teammates, but you backing up? Come on now. You fight for your teammates, you backing up? You ain't fighting for your teammates, you backing up.
Jenkins should have sat on the bench and never got up.
Jenkins needs to be out the league, man. That brother, man.
I was like,
that brother's not appropriate. That brother's back is as old as my 75-year-old uncle, man.
Yeah, if you got that much energy, then block. You need to block harder. If you got that much energy to fight, then fight at the snap. Don't fight after the whistle. I mean, that's what's going to get me mad.
Worry about Rich's back.
He's the reason you the reason why he got hit like that. Yeah. so what you fighting for? That stuff drives me crazy. Okay, y'all. All right. So we go wrap. This has been good conversation. As we close out in the drop the mic, I got a signal out to Hank. I got some feelers out.
Now, where's Hank coming? What we got? We got negotiated. We got to give him some. What's up with Hank?
He's had some things he had to change around in his life.
Yeah, I know he has some family, but we need Hank back. Tell people bring Hank back, man. We might talk about baseball first of all. We ain't talking about no baseball, period, man.
Yeah. So one of the things we have to do is I have to create an overlay for our show that says, give a number to call in if you've seen Hank. Well, if you spot him, let us know.
You don't see Hank. You don't see Hank when you're in Michigan, right?
I told him I left a message that said, "Don't make me come by the house." Now I know we're dealing with the Omarion, as Youngin would say, but I got a mask. I'll double mask up.
No, don't be saying that because see, that's how we don't get in trouble with black folks. See, having Omarion, white folks will get upset about the Omarion virus. You don't want that, man. They'll be saying that's a Demarion.
I know we'll be having some problems, but I got that from a young guy. He had me cracking up when he said it. I'm like, what are you talking about on the phone? Like, all right, but we'll be all right. But yeah, we'll see. I have to knock on the door and try and check him in. My goal is getting back on track in 2020.
That means he's upset. I mean, every time we're in group chat, he like leaves the conversation.
Nah, he dealing with life. You know how it's out here. We dealing with life, so we got to be patient sometimes. We got to be Kyrie patient with him. That's the problem. I got to get on. I'm like, oh, now you're trying to be the Kyrie of the group. We're not gonna bring it back to playing the role.
Young have stepped up. We've stepped up. See, that's the thing. We stepped up, bro.
Oh, y'all stepped up. Y'all held it down.
Next man up. Next two brothers up, man.
That's it. We just gonna keep it moving.
We stepped up, man.
Since then, we done been on the Maui Invitational. We done a whole bunch of stuff. We've kept the movement going. And so we gonna keep this thing running.
And we need game changer back, man. Get game changer back. We
gotta get him back in. He's starting to coach in that season. He's trying to go for another run. He's trying to put together his version of UConn and South Carolina here in the state of Wisconsin. So we got to pull him off the court to come in here and talk a little bit. So we'll get him. We got some other people. We have to get Phil T and some other folks that have not been on here. They're working on some stuff. So we're about to bring, like Wu-Tang. We got the collective. We're gonna bring folks back in and have their appearances on
You
the
bring
album.
Bielema, man. Talk about that that recruiting class.
Yeah.
I heard it's been getting good reviews up in Illinois here.
Well, I told you about Bielema. Everybody's sleeping on him. I told you. I said he
I
go
say
do
sleeping on him.
he gonna do his thing. All right. As soon as he get his feet
Well,
right,
he
he
went
gonna
like
do his
5-7,
thing
right?
down
But he lost to UC. Well, I guess UTSA wasn't a bad loss after
there.
all.
Yeah.
But who's the team he really lost to? It was really bad. I forgot what was it, Rutgers or no?
Yeah. And he got on his players and tried to do. I mean, he's trying to change culture down there. But I've been around him. He gonna get it right. So, I don't worry about that. He gonna make sure they're competitive. So we'll see what they do there. But we're gonna drop the mic. We're gonna drop the mic. We'll start with Youngin, man. Give people something to think about as they get ready for the holidays.
All right, but I want to go back to a video that I've seen. This was maybe a week or so ago, when Houston played. Who did Houston play? It was Houston College, the college basketball team. They played Alabama. They played Alabama, and it was a controversial ending. The refs, I think the refs got it right, with the last call. But when things get heated, sometimes tempers, they boil over, and somebody kicked over the trash can over by Houston's bench. But there's a guy named Jamal Sheed that we saw in Maui. He's a guy we seen. We was behind the bench, so we seen this guy's he's a leader. He brings something special to that group. And we saw his video. A video surfaced, went viral of him picking the trash can up and cleaning it, just picking everything up from on the ground and putting it back in the trash can. But I just wanted to bring this back up just to remind everybody, just to be kind, always do the right thing. And character is something that is not always when it's not when everybody's watching, but it's when it's what you do when nobody's watching you. And I just want to remind everybody, just always strive to do the right thing and be the best person that you can be, and just strive to help somebody out in this holiday season.
Oh, great message. Great message, young brother. Great message. Thank you. Hammer.
Man, I gotta say, during this holidays, we know a year ago, I don't know about you, but I was in the crib, huddled down, because we were dealing with a virus that we didn't know what type of havoc and kill people. But let's not let our guard down yet, folks. Okay, we can do some semblance of the past, but we ain't going back totally to the past, y'all. And like I said, I was in Milwaukee this weekend. Nobody wearing no masks. And I'll just call him out. There's a guy, I ain't gonna say his name, but one of my homies in Wisconsin who just got sadly diagnosed with congestive heart failure and probably had a heart attack. He up at the WWE in the Pfizer with no mask on. I mean, it's crazy. 41 years old. I don't say his name, but probably if it gets back to him, brother can call me. You can call me. We can talk, bro. Because again, you're putting your life at risk. Because you're trying to do something that like I said, you're comfortable with. But it's not. I mean, wearing a mask is like not wearing your underwear right now. Okay, real talk. But again, that's not the case. I see it here in Illinois. I see it here. But you're Wisconsin. I don't know what happened in Michigan, but I don't understand. Like I said again, this has become a public health crisis turned to a political quagmire, and we just have to stop it. I mean, the New Year's resolution should be that we need to get together. I mean, it's craziness, and where I am, people wearing masks, yeah, but the main thing about it, and these cats that these ball players ain't wearing it either, and doing crazy stuff. So, and then like I said, Don't be going to these big gatherings, people, and then I'll just keep it real. And you better not go to the gentleman's club. Real talk. Around some women you don't even know. Come on now. So, I mean, the main thing about it is that let's have some sense. Let's see our family safely. What I'm going to do. Let's try to have a semblance of, we ain't shut down like we were last year, but we ain't free either. We somewhere in between. So, and let's enjoy sports. We starting to see sports is under threat again. Which just crushed the country. When you had Last Dance was the biggest sports thing in the country. It was a sad time in America, in the world. Forget America, because the world's suffering right now. So let's just think about others. Let's stop thinking about yourself. Stop being narcissists. I mean, stop being again negligent of your own man, and again, stop being foolish. Where you are high risk, you out here with no mask on in a big arena at WWE, like ain't nothing going on. And like I said, I pray for him that he turns all right. But I mean, you ain't helping yourself, bro. God knows somebody with congestive heart failure who passed away from COVID. A dear friend of mine. That was called Edward Bryant's his name. A family man, banker, VP banker. Good man, had some serious health problems, and before we could get vaccines, he got taken out by COVID. And we got vaccines out here, and we got cats that ain't wearing no masks, ain't washing their hands. You go to these important events, cats ain't washing their hands. It's just craziness. It's craziness. I don't understand that. Besides the fact that we want our freedom, freedom to pass away? That's what you want? Freedom to get other people sick who are innocent, like my 85-year-old aunt who's got health problems, who live life right and is doing in ATL. You're gonna threaten her life with your craziness, talking about your freedom? You got freedom, all right.
All right. Hammer on here and took us to the other side. But I would say this. I'm having an opportunity. I have an annual lunch that we come together with. It was some guys I graduated from college with. We played sports together, and one of our brothers, right before the pandemic, right as it was getting off, passed away. We couldn't even come together to grieve. He was someone we probably would have on the show, Corey Jackson, and had a chance to talk to his wife yesterday. And just we're planning to have this kind of annual. We come together and eat lunch, and it just reminds me that I think Young has said it, and I think Hammer alluded to it. There's times where you just have to love thy neighbor. You have to. There's a time to like sacrifice for others. One of the things that probably bothers me the most about the situation in Brooklyn with Kyrie is that he called all those brothers to come be part with him, and he's not there. They're there holding the ship down, and he's over doing. And it's important to push and be an activist, but part of the greatest part of activism is collectivism. Is to really be thinking beyond yourself. Our best leaders constantly think beyond themselves. And I constantly see folks who aren't willing to make that sacrifice in a way that would help the greater good. Because that's part of it. That's part of the way you choose and you lead. And so to have an opportunity to be in a space, even given all the things that happen around here, we would definitely be distance in that way and coming together, just to think about the people who would really want to be here, be a part of this, being around folks who I constantly know are sacrificing for others as educators, as people who are doing work in the community, to just appreciate and kind of think about what's going on is a blessing. But we're not going to move forward if we don't think about sacrifices for others. And so I think Darnell hit it right on the head. What can you do for someone else? Like, I think that's important. One of the greatest things about team sports that makes it work is it's a sacrifice. great teams, if you ever played on a great team and won a championship, there was a lot of sacrifice. You were doing something not because of for you. You were doing something for everybody around you. You might not have played a minute in the game, or you might have not got any time, or you might just be on the kickoff team. But you came to practice as if you were going to start. If you were on scout team, you ran hard because you wanted to make sure the starting group got a good look, because that was the commitment. And we don't see this kind of collective commitment in society right now. We see a lot of folks who want isolations. They want isos. They want no sacrifice. And hopefully over this holiday break, everybody has a chance to reflect and think about how they can impact others. Until next time, this is my man from a man Youngin, for Hammer, and you felt D. Wilson, and for our brother we haven't seen in a while, Hank. We'll see you on the other side.
Hank Davis, man. Come back, brother. Come back. Come back.
Come back.
Yes, today. Yes, today. You know, as we start this show, this one mic. We hail. There is a pause throughout the stadium as this man sounds like he just coughed up a lung. Just looking around, the Jumbotron shows and pans the cheerleaders, and as it goes down each cheerleader's face, each one breaks up into laughter, which at this particular time destroys half the stadium. The other half is still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Does this guy need CPR or something? And at that particular time, I lost it. Devon Druck. Yes, today.
Blog Talk Radio.
Start this show, this one mic.
Phoenix is another place. They got a great training staff. They were able to breathe life back into Shaq. And you can do that. You know, people talk a lot about their training staff.
Blog.
Yes, today. You know, as we start this show, this one mic.